guys, welcome back. Part 2 of our clean and jerk mobility stability pre-programming, right? You guys have been eating up those exercises that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Now we want to give you a little bit more, starting to work on some shoulder blade awareness and the mobility and stability of our kind of hips and pelvis. So let's go ahead and play through all these 3 exercises and see how it goes. Our first drill is going to start to work on some mobility through the hips. The most difficult part for most people is to get into that split lunge. So we're going to use the box to help us out. My full foot is on the box. I'm not letting the heel hang off, full foot on the box. And I want my leg back in a position where I can start to feel a good 50-50 split into this position. Me personally, I'm actually going to take this box down just so I can get a little bit farther into that split position. And from here, what I'm going to do is I can play with 2 motions. I can go up on the tippy toes on the front foot to bring that hip closer to my chest, hip flexion. I can also straighten out the back leg. What that's going to do is that's going to get hip extension through this bottom leg. So by working the 2, hip flexion on one, hip extension on the other, and then when I flip, full foot on the box, on the toes in the back foot, I'm working both ends of my range of motion. Even if I split jerk with one leg going forward every single time, it's highly beneficial to work both legs. That way, you're nice and symmetrical on both sides. Now that we've mobilized our hips, what we need to do is we need to get our brain to connect in with our body, that brain-body connection, to know how to use our glutes and our core to stay nice and solid so that when I'm in that split position, inheriting the bar, I have a really strong foundation. So in the lunge position, knee down on the ground, I first want to get some brain awareness. So from here, my pelvis is really rocked down and under, almost like a dog tucking its tail between its legs. From here, what I want to do is I want to squeeze that back glute. You can see in my leg, as I squeeze that glute, it comes a little back into extension. I first love to prime by hitting 10 glute contractions just to start to build some awareness and a little bit of blood into that glute itself. But from here, the actual stabilization part is going to be our glute core lunge. So I'm going to squeeze the glute, I'm going to squeeze the core with that pelvis tucked under, curl the toes, coming all the way up, right? I'm not straight-legged in the front, still a little bend in that leg, so I have 50% awareness in my front foot and 50% awareness in my back foot. And I'm going to come straight down, still holding max contraction in that glute, max contraction in that core. I can sit here and oscillate for 10, and that's going to get a real big pump into the glutes and a real hard contraction into the lower core. Of course, I would hit around, do the same thing on the other side. Really good tuck of the pelvis. Start with some glute squeezes just to prime the muscle. Toes down on the ground, coming up, real tight contraction, right? This is my non-dominant foot forward, so I'm a little less stable, but that's why we always want to work both sides. Last but certainly not least, starting to work on some stability of that shoulder blade, knowing that when my shoulder also, so what I'm going to do down to the ground, and from here, we're going to do swimmer. I first prioritize the shoulder blade motion. Shoulder blades up, back, and down, right? So I'm trying to take the tip of my shoulder blade and stick it into my back pocket. So I'm lifting here. Now I can do it in 2 ways, either with arms short, reaching up overhead and down, or I can go long, up overhead, down. If I can touch my hands together above my butt, that's a great way to aim for really good shoulder blade positioning. But I'm going to do that 10 times. I can alternate and work on the coordination of the shoulder blade on the rib cage. But that builds a lot of great stability into that shoulder so that when you get into that overhead position, this mobile system can account for maybe a less than perfect starting position. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Those 3 mobility stability drills are really going to help solidify your clean and jerk. Announcement, Action Potential will be treating 5 to 6:30 every Tuesday. We're gonna be helping y'all out if there are any movements that may not be feeling as well as you should. Maybe you're not able to get into that overhead position. Maybe your squat just isn't deep enough. Or if you know that you have any injury that you should be rehabbing, you've been working with other individuals, other coaches with, I'm gonna be here again Tuesdays 5 to 6:30 to help you out with those. Those can be either through a 30-minute free injury consultation where we'll talk about maybe where are some places in your training that we can incorporate some movement to help those different activities out, or even all the way through initial exams and treatments, again, 5 to 6:30 Tuesdays.